Okay, so I'm on a roll, so I'll keep going. So the second trip I went on, so I knew I had enough stuff left for two like big trips, like significant like trips. Not like obviously the first one was a microdose, just testing it out, and the second one was like a big one, like a big dose. And I took it about like 10 days after I got out of hospital. And in my mind, like when I was in hospital and when I got out, I was like, I knew I was going to take it. Like I knew I was going to go on this like bigger trip. But I was almost like, I'll do it in August. Like I'll do it like, like at least like 6 weeks, a month, 6 weeks down the line. Like I won't do it. And then like I think it's like one Wednesday evening. Like I say, sort of early July, one Wednesday evening. I was like, tonight's the night. I'm gonna do it. So I measured it all out, took it, and it was like it was much later in the evening for this one, so it was dark outside. So I was like, I can't like look at my neighbour's perfect garden. So I took it, and then what I did was as it was sort of coming up, I got my tablet out, sitting on my bed, got my tablet out, and then went on YouTube and searched like videos of the cosmos. And then what came up was sort of like picture an image of like the cosmos taken from a desert in the desert. So you've got like the Milky Way and the sky, like looking fantastic, and like in the foreground you've got like a desert rock or a cactus, and then you can see the sand and everything. So it's just like these like amazing photos, just like one after the other, of like the cosmos, a cactus, and the desert, and just like blowing my mind. Like, and then as I was watching them, I was like, fucking hell, man, these are beautiful, man. Like, these are fucking amazing. Like, look at all those stars. Just like proper getting into it. Like again, like proper like how you'd imagine someone else psychedelics react if they see sort of a picture of the cosmos. But yeah, just like just watching these images, just like cycle through. It's like wow, brilliant, keep them coming, man. I'm fucking loving this. I am loving this so much. I'm fucking loving this. Just like I don't know. I did that for maybe like half an hour, and I was like, I don't feel anything. Like I've taken quite a significant like amount. I don't feel anything. So then I was like, all right, let me meditate for 10 minutes. let me just sort of let me calm things down. Maybe that'll help. So I'll meditate for 10 minutes. Just like just the standard sort of sounds. Just like close my eyes. 10-minute like guided meditation with some like nice music. And then I remember thinking, like literally just before I opened my eyes, I was like, I don't think these are doing anything. Like I don't think anything's happening. And I opened my eyes, and the whole fucking room looked like a cartoon, man. Like literally, like my bed looked and felt like a massive fucking marshmallow. My door had no hard edges. It's like a cartoon door, like really rounded, like a big doorknob. Like just felt like I could open the door, and I didn't know what was behind there. Like literally didn't know what was behind there. Like I don't know if you can see that that elephant on that thing behind me. That was like literally just like a cartoon just smiling at me. And then I've got a Buddha on the bookcase there, and he was just looking down on me, just giving me so much divine love. And I was a bit like disconcerted, to be honest. Like I felt like okay and everything, and I was like, this is fucking weird. But I felt a bit like, oh man, like I didn't feel like the first trip I felt 100% lovely the whole time. This time I felt like a bit overwhelmed. Like I was even too scared to turn around and look at this. Like this is like a turtle and another thing. I was like, man, I don't want to look at that. That will freak me out too much. So I was feeling like this is okay, but my room's a cartoon. It wasn't when I closed my eyes to meditate, and now it is. And that feeling of like feeling a bit of unease was suddenly replaced, like, from nowhere really, this feeling of like safety and love just like came up and washed over me. And it was like I was like 3 or 4, and I was around my mum, my dad, and my brother and my sister, and I'm the youngest. And I just felt like nothing can touch me. I am so safe and so loved by these people, by my family. Like I just felt like, I was like literally started crying a little bit. I was like, man, I'm so loved. I'm so loved. I literally just felt like this feeling of just like, I've always been loved and I've always been safe. Like, where have I ever been worried, man? Like, my family just around me as this little boy, just feeling, oh man, yeah, like, and that feeling, and like, I've got this view. I had this view when I was reading the book, actually. When I was reading the book, I had this view of psychedelics being quite spiritual and meaningful and mystical, from like how Michael Pollan explains them in the book. But after my experience, I have that even more now. And that feeling that came up when I was feeling a bit uneasy, when I first was like tripping, I feel like my fucking room's a cartoon, man. It wasn't a cartoon before. What's going on? That feeling, despite the love Buddha was giving me, I felt uneasy. And then that feeling of safety and love for my family that I had when I was younger came up. And it was almost like the psychedelics, and this is going to sound crazy, the psychedelics were talking to me, or like communicating to me and telling me, look, some crazy shit is going to happen over the next few hours, but this feeling you've got right now of feeling loved and safe, and remember, you've had this since you were 3 or 4, so it's always been there. You've always had it. It's there, mate. Some freaky shit's going to happen. Remember this feeling. And I can tap into that feeling. I had a feeling safe. I can literally right now, I'm tapping into it and I feel it, man. I feel so fucking blessed and loved and all that good stuff. And it's always been there. Anyway, I'm rambling. It's almost like the psychedelics are telling me some freaky shit's going to go down now. You're safe and loved. Remember that, whatever happens over the next few hours. And I was like, cool. And so I just was like, I got my Google speaker. I was like, okay, Google, play some chilled vibes. That's not going to do it, is it? Yeah. So and it just, this playlist came on, man. And honestly, the way I've kind of described the first trip, it was almost like a joyride. Like all that research I said I did in the other video went out the window. Like I'd researched how to go on a trip. I just fucking dived feet first into it, man. Like I pretty much ignored all that. Right or wrongly, it turned out okay. It turned out better than okay, actually. And it was like the first time you drink, in some ways, like the first time you drink alcohol, where you're just out of control. So I was vibing so hard to this playlist of songs I'd never heard before, but literally just felt so like in tune with the music, could like see the music. I've got like a candle here, and that was like flickering on the ceiling, and that just looked like beautiful. There was one moment where literally me and Buddha were looking eye to eye, and he was like creating this like artwork, and I was feeling like super intense, like I was holding on, and he was coming like closer to me, and I was like, and then he was like, just whispered to me, let go, and I was like getting more intense as he got closer and closer to me, and he just kept whispering to me, let go. Then I let go, and then suddenly I was in the artwork with him, and he was just, I don't know. This is going to sound crazy, and obviously you had to be there and stuff like that, but it just felt like everything felt beautiful. Seeing the music, lights look perfect, me and Buddha conversing, like just like beautiful shit. And then this, like, the way I'm going to describe it, and this bit, man, I'll just talk. Some feminine energy came up in me, and I was like, fuck, what is this? I don't like this. So this like real, like, I don't know, this like feminine energy came up in me, and then like these thoughts about like my sexuality and like how I am around men came up, and I was like, oh man, I don't like this. This isn't. Nah, I want to vibe again. Take me back to the vibe. Take me back to the music. Then I remembered, I'm safe. Follow it. I started following it. Then I was like, oh man, all this work I've been doing the past 2 or 3 years. Is this how it ends? Am I gay? You know, am I gay? And at that moment in time, I was okay with it. I was like, if if that's how it ends, I'm fine. Like, that is okay. That's like, obviously, it's obvious it's okay to be gay. Like, but like for me personally, like I was like, that's okay. And then these things around me like needing something from men, it became much clearer in the second trip. But in this trip, it was weird. Like I couldn't quite like. Because I think it was a bit of a joyride and I hadn't structured it, I couldn't quite grasp on to like the little clues or anything. I just had this like weird feeling, feminine energy, sexuality, like these memories of me like throughout my life, like feeling a bit uncomfortable around men or feeling like I need to impress them, or I don't know, like just an imbalance, I guess, between like my masculine and feminine energy. Like that's what it felt. It felt like my feminine energy in me was much stronger. And I was like, what does this mean? I don't know what this means. But then I was like, it's okay. I don't need to know what it means. I'm safe. So I was able to like tap back into that feeling of being around my family, being loved. Whatever happens now and next, whatever happens is fine. And so like that didn't quite get resolved. And then then it's kind of like you're in a dream. Especially on this much bigger dose, I wasn't able to like find. I was floating. I was like on an ocean, and sometimes it'd be calm, and sometimes it'd be stormy. So that bit where I was like feminine energy, masculine, it was a stormy bit of the sea. Then I went back to calm and mellow. But I knew that hadn't been resolved, that masculine and feminine energy. But it was okay to like let it go, because that's where it was going. I wasn't trying to control where I was going. I was just trying to allow myself to float and go with it. So like, kind of, I guess, went through that little patch of the sea. But I was like, fuck man, I need to go check that out, because that is telling me something about myself. But right now is not the time. And then carried on going, and then kind of went back into another, thank God man, the music's sick, and the lights, everything, like Buddha's got my back, like everything is good. My bed's a marshmallow again, everything is good. And so I went through another hour of that, just like, oh man, like fucking life is fucking sweet, man, like everything's fucking perfect. And then I started feeling like scared, like really scared. And I don't, like, this is funny but also fucked, but also like taught me something so like amazing about letting go. This and the only way I can describe it is a demon, and that doesn't do it justice because it wasn't a demon. And the way I described it to my mates the other day was it was kind of like a gaseous, like amorphous blob, kind of like Ditto the Pokemon, but not as like the edges weren't as defined. But like that's the only way I can describe it. And this presence of Ditto, as I'll call it, like it wanted to like. Okay, there's two ways I can describe this. It wanted to like consume me. It wanted to like violate me. It wanted to do something really mean to me. Or the other way I can describe it is it wanted to fuck me in the bum. Like it wanted to, like there was what it wanted to. There was nothing loving about what it wanted to do to me. But it wanted to do something quite horrible to me. So I'm on my bed, very, very aware that this thing and this is all happening in my mind. Remember, so it's like when you try and again, it's like when you try and describe a dream, you can get the general brushstrokes of it, but can you ever describe a dream to a T, like the finer details? So that's kind of like what all the trips were like. So you just have like it's more like the feeling and the realizations and the idea. It's more like the more abstract stuff that comes from it rather than the actual event. Well, in my experience anyway. And maybe I would say that because I got fucked by Ditto. But like the feeling that it was going to do something horrible to me was building and building. So I'm there just on my bed and I'm sweating by this point. I don't like this at all. I feel very, very scared and I feel fear. and I didn't like, and even trying to tap into that feeling of my family, like it worked to some extent, but it was almost like, that's all very well, but you need to know what this is. Like, you are loved and you are safe, and you need to go forward into this fucking amorphous blob in front of you and figure out what it wants from you. So I'm kind of holding on, man. I'm holding on. I'm sweating, and like, I need to just, and like the fear is ratcheting up, man, and I'm feeling really nervous and really scared. And so it builds and builds, and this could have been like over 30 minutes or 3 hours, man. Like, time was irrelevant. And so, but I know it's building and I know it's happening. And so I'm like, okay, let it happen. Just let it happen. Just let it happen. Whatever it wants to do to you, as scared as you are, just let it happen. You are safe and you are loved. Let it happen. Then it happened. And my bum was involved. I don't know, it was weird. Like, again, it's happening in my mind. I'm just literally lying on my bed with my eyes closed. But this thing happened. And it was like, the gas went in. It's fucked, isn't it? Anyway, that happened. And over, like, I don't know, it could have been 5 seconds or 15 seconds or 50 seconds. But it wasn't a long time. The peak of the fear, like, I was like, so scared. It happened. And then I felt nothing. I felt absolutely nothing. And I just started bursting out laughing after, like, feeling that intense fear and just voluntarily going towards it. I could not stop laughing, man. I just literally was like, that's what I was scared. I was scared of that. Like, that was what I was scared. Like, I just couldn't believe. And and again, I could have been laughing like 5 minutes and just barely laughing that had just happened, and I'd been so scared of it, and it was nothing. I didn't feel a thing. There was like nothing sexual about it. Nothing. Just. It was. I don't know. It's like it's trolling me. It was like. I don't know. It's like it just evaporated the second it. Almost like I say, a couple of seconds after it happened, I was like, that was nothing. And then the rest of the trip was just beautiful. Just and it was like the second I started laughing, I could, even though the music had been playing the whole time, it's like I heard it again, and I saw the lights again, and I just felt safe. And Buddha, with my mate Buddha, was up there just fucking being like, looking at me all like fucking wise and knowing, just like, yeah, bro, yeah. And it was just the most, like, incredible thing. And it was almost like that, you know, there's all that saying that on the other side of fear is love. Like, that is essentially, I guess, what it felt like. That, like, I'd been able to access, like, love on the other side of that, like, again, the most intense and at times crippling fear. And then, yeah, everything was beautiful. Like, was coming down, and even on the come down, like, felt like super creative. I remember at one point I went down to make myself like a bacon and egg sandwich, and I saw my dog Milo, and Milo's a rescue, and he's a Romanian rescue, and bad shit happened to him at some point. So he's quite a timid dog. Like, don't get me wrong, like, he loves to play and loves to run, but when he's just sort of by himself in his bed in his room, he's really timid. And as I walked to the fridge, I saw him, like, just like in his bed, just like cowering. And man, I literally was like, Milo. I just went over to him and gave him, like, just literally, man, just all my love just poured out into him, man. It was like so nice. I mean, I don't know if he liked it, but like, I just was like, buddy, you're always safe with me. No one's ever gonna hurt you again. Like, I hope you know how loved you are. You're just so loved. And I fucking demolished his bacon and egg sandwich, and then I just felt like really creative in terms of, like, maybe I'll do another video about, like, ideas I had about, like, the future and like what I can do in the future, you know, once my body heals. And I don't know, man, it was just like the most fucked up but beautiful, meaningful, mystical, cosmic, I don't know, experience, man. But yeah, that feminine energy shit, I felt very comfortable, even when I came down and was like sober. I felt like that needs to be bottomed out. Like I didn't feel like anxious about it. I was like, it will, yeah, that'll be sorted, no problem. I'll figure that out a bit more. But it was very much like, yeah, next trip, let's figure that out. And I'll talk about that in the next video.